bottom. Ain't no problems, we gon' make a way. Got no coach on the field, but we making plays. Hey, look, don't worry, we gon' be okay. Hey, look, why? Cause we gon' make them pay.
Hey, what's the goddamn deal? It is your boy, Marley Bets, and this right here, this is Brothas N Bets. And the homeboy right there at the bottom, that's the homeboy Flat Top. And y'all already know we got the legend in right now who banging out there in the West Coast, Mr. DJ Big Boss. It's going down.
What up? Dow? You already know what time it is. Happy to be with y'all today, man. Let's get it.
For sure. Today we gonna break down. You know, we got two conferences we're gonna break down. We've been doing this thing for like the last week or so, busting down each conference until the season starts. So today we got the AAC. What's up, Don? And we also got. Hold on, because this is Big Boss's baby right here. So let me not talk down or say. Let me watch my words carefully. We got the big dogs, you know what I'm saying, of the West Coast, the Mountain West Conference. So we gonna start there today, you know what I'm saying? And let's talk about and pull up these banners. Let's just give an overall conference view. I think the conference is well, actually, I'm not gonna say what I think. I'm gonna say Athlon thinks that Boise State is going to win the conference this year. They got them overall going 10-3, 7-1 in conference. They have Air Force going 9-3 with 6-2 in conference. In the mount, and that then we go to the West Division. They got Fresno State coming at 9-4, and 6-2 in conference, and we got those Aztecs rounding out the top four. They're 8-4, and they got them going 5-3. These are predictions for the Mountain West Conference as an overall conference. I know this your darling. I know this your big boy. This your baby. So we coming to you out the gates and at the start of every conversation, Mr. DJ Big Boss. Give me an overall view. Give me your top three conference. I won't say top three to pick the winning conference, but just give me your top three teams in no particular order. Who you think will be the big dogs that are going to run things in the Mountain West?
Hey, that's an easy call right there. But let me clear up the records. Now, the Mountain West is where I do it the best, but that's exactly what it is. I just do it the best. I think they're a solid conference. They do pretty well outside the conference, but it's just something that I dived into that I happen to get a good feel for, and that's why I bet the Mountain West. But you know, I'm a Notre Dame fan at heart anyway, so
we know that's your
so
squad.
you know. Mountain West is just my favorite thing. You know, maybe it's I don't want to put luck in the picture because I do study it. You know, it moves me. I have a couple inside plugs that I have with it, so it is one of those things like that. But top three, jumping into it off back. Shoot, I'm gonna give it to you in order, man. I'm gonna give it to you: Air Force, Boise State, Fresno State, just like that, man.
No Utes? No Aggies?
Man, the Aggies, that's a one-time thing, man. That dude came out of nowhere. You know, the element of surprise is gone for Blake right there. So, you know, he's going to be a lot rougher for him. Only thing that's great about what he got going on that could give him a chance is he did get a couple players just hang around. So he got some players that came in, and you got to remember, like if you go back to Utah State's games last year, they almost let a lot of games slip away. You know, they wouldn't have won that Mountain West had it been for a couple of plays throughout the season. So I don't feel that they have a big edge at returning in the Mountain West because the element of surprise is gone for the coach. And, the more film is out there, you coach, the more film get out there, the more chance they have to stop. But, that's my three right there.
So we got Boise. You said Boise. You said
Air Force, Boise, and Fresno State. That's top of the chain. And then San Diego State. But San Diego State could come in the second or third spot, depending on how well the quarterback situation work out.
They pissed me off. I had big expectations for San Diego State last year because the year before last, I rode that wave, and they was. I don't know if maybe it was the element of surprise or I don't know because they won like 10 games that season, or did they go undefeated that season? Like
No,
2 years
last year they
ago.
won. 2 years ago, I think they lost 1 or 2 for sure.
Yeah, they lost like
Right.
1 or 2, but it was
And
it was a good season though.
I caught that wave, and so last year I kind of expected them guys to kind of continue that, but I'm not, the biggest, the most, I don't. It's a lot of conferences I watch before I get to West, so it's not like I studied it, but I expected them to come out how they finished the season last year. I mean, they were running the fucking score up on everybody 2 years ago, and so I'm a little down on San Jose State. I do
San
like
Jose State or San Diego State.
San Jose State.
San Jose. Okay, that's an easy call right there for you, man. What happened with San Jose State when they played good that year was that a lot of players stuck behind because they liked the coach and the COVID. They got the extra year. They were 6 years seniored out from the quarterback on down, and they played well for the coach. The coach does have great scheme on defense and offense, but they had a great little thing going on right there, and they fell a little bit short. But that's what happened. So the following year, I had already predicted that it went down like that because the quarterback wasn't the same. The line wasn't the same. The defense is still tight, though. The defense is still tight. I expect them to win mostly at home. That's when I jump on San Jose State at home.
Okay. All right. I'm kind of with you on Air Force. I love Air Force. I'm not with Athlon. They got Boise to win the conference. They got Boise over Fresno State. So I don't even have Air Force in the mix here, but I love Air Force. I like that offense, bro. To be 100% honest with you, and they're returning. I don't want to get into it, so we already talked about that. I'll get into my Air Force stuff before we start going. So let's talk about. Oh yeah, that's what we were supposed to talk about, the champs, huh? Or did we just do that?
Well, that was just my side. You get Flat Top side. He out there in Nevada.
No,
you got UNLV, Nevada.
You had a pretty good take on that. I actually stayed away from Mountain West betting last year. Besides Air Force, I mean their offense and what they were doing. Yeah, just that option. It was exciting to watch too. I actually like.
Hey, that's why That's exactly why you got to get a Twitter Flat Top. They got me on camera several times. I got clips on Twitter for sure. Money line underdogs, winners all day in the Mountain West.
All day.
I will get on it, Big Boss. Next time we're on the show, ask me what the Twitter handle is. I got it for you.
That's what I'm talking about.
The game.
And y'all make sure y'all go follow my man.
But yeah, so as far as that, I like those picks. Fresno State, what Jake Hayner did as a transfer from Washington. They had some pretty good games last year. I think they'll take a little bit of a slide, but we can get into the actual nitty gritty of who we expect and kind of what we expect to see this season.
Okay. Let's jump into Mountain West runner-up preview. So this is the runner-up from last year's season. Big Boss, tell me where you think they're at. Tell me where you think they're gonna be.
San Diego State.
Yeah.
That's
who lost in the championship last year, right?
Yeah, they lost to Utah State.
I didn't put San Diego State on there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, San Diego State. Well, I like a lot about San Diego State. We got my man Brady Hoke. He sticks right along with the tradition that was set there, as far as tight running game, excellent defense, really physical team. All those different attributes. But this year they do a little something different. He gets rid of the quarterbacks that he had, and he gets a Virginia Tech's transfer, Braxton Brumster. And this guy can actually pass the ball a little bit. I went to quite a few games last year, and one time I was sitting next to the family of a young wide receiver out there, and I swear to Dad, every play was like, my boy is open, my boy is open. So I kind of keyed in on it, and he wasn't even lying. He was a lot of open chances. They just couldn't get the ball downfield. The quarterbacks wasn't really designed like that because, they really in the past relied on a strong running game and being able to pass the ball on third down. But if they get a passer in this offense, and I believe they're getting back Greg Bell. Oh, no, they lost Greg Bell, They got their number 2 back, Chance Bell. So they got Chance Bell coming back this
Right.
year to run the ball, which should be decent. And the wide receiver position it's a dime a dozen when you're on a run first team anyhow. But the offensive line has a few setbacks, but Brady Hoke, that's where he get his money at, coaching those offensive lines like that. And he should do decent in there. And the defense gonna be the same San Diego State defense that you see. They're not the hugest dudes. They're disciplined. They're physical, and the secondary is shut down. So if you're gonna beat them, you got to beat them over the top, because anything less, they all over it. So we seen a few teams last year. Last year it was surprising. They really was an undersweet team in 2021, but in 2020 and 21, they actually scored a lot of points out of conference and stuff like that. So it was a little exciting for them. But this year, I think they do a little bit better on offense. And who knows, man? Maybe they slack on defense. So we might not be looking at the under team that we was looking at before. But this team definitely can compete. Like I said, they can end up in the number 2 or the number 3 spot. But right now, I got them in the 4 spot behind Fresno State.
I'm still scared of that offense, DJ. Well, I'll take it back. I don't know if I'm necessarily. They got to fix quarterback to me. I don't know if Brummeister is the guy. He didn't really do all that good at Virginia Tech. I mean, he did all right, I guess. But it's the same old. They lose. They're only bringing back their starting center and the starting right tackle. So that's what concerns me for the most part. And only 3 players on offense for this team. Now, like you said, defensively, they're going to be the same old tough-minded ass defensive Aztecs that we know. I mean, this team was ranked 3rd in the Mountain West, only gave up 19 points a game, number 1 in rushing, less than 100 points a game, number 2 in total yards, and number 11 in passing. So you bringing back pretty much, I mean, on every level, at least you're bringing back a D-end, D-tackle. You're bringing back 2 linebackers, 1 cornerback, and we'll call it like a rover position, which is like a hybrid linebacker safety and another safety. So I expect the defense to continue, if not be better than what they did last year. Are they on the level, in my opinion, of the Boise States and the Air Forces? No, I don't think so. And I just think offensively, they're just not there. Defensively, I think they can play with anybody in the conference. But offensively is where they're gonna hit a lot of bumps in the road. And they got Air Force at the end of the season, so that's gonna be a big game.
Absolutely.
But you start out with Arizona. I think they can win that game, even though it's a conference up. Arizona's not much.
Hey, the Mountain West got good numbers against the Pac-12, so
right.
I
would take personally. I think I would take San Diego State in that game, depending on what that line was. Idaho State and then Utah. 3rd game of the season at Utah.
Yeah,
we're going to see
what be tough.
We're going to see what they're made of by week 3. I don't expect them to win that game, but if they can go in and be competitive, then and at least walk away with something to hold their head high about, I think they'll be okay. We'll see about Brady Hoke. Like you said, if he can get this offense, he's going to have a whole new offensive line to start working with, and this is where he's supposedly supposed to make his money at. So we'll see. I think they'll be good. I think they'll be top 5 in the conference. Top maybe. I don't know if I can squeeze them in that top 3, DJ. I like Air Force. I like Boise. I'm probably a little higher on the Aggies than you are, it sounds like. But I put them in that 3-4. I mean, that 3-4. I kind of like what Colorado did last year on the outside looking in. I didn't like I said, I didn't really break the conference down a whole lot. Yeah. Colorado State rounds is what I'm talking about. But yeah, I put them in, that not quite the big dogs, but right there, they can fight with the big dogs. But I don't think they win.
But like I said, it all comes down to that quarterback spot. If the receivers can get open, I mean, it's the West Coast. The receivers come a dime a dozen, bro. San Diego, they full of talent over there. They sent plenty to the pros. So, they could get the talent there to do it, but they just haven't had the guy. And then last year, they were toggled between two guys and couldn't get it together. I mean, they had quarterback switches in the middle of the games. But if this guy could come in as a transfer and be, maybe they taught him a little something over there, a little better than what they teaching over here, and he could come out and, because they say he's a little versatile, so he could throw the ball and run. If all he got to do is really, do good on third down, you know what I'm saying? And if he could do that, then we could be looking at a San Diego State team in the 2 spot or in a 3 spot. But I agree, it's kind of hard to put them, all the way up there with all the question marks on the offense.
That's the problem. It's probably not like you said. I don't think it's a lot of question marks on offense. It's question mark at quarterback, and it just happens to be, the most important position on offense. And I kind of question the offensive line, but like you said, they got the coach that's supposed to be his specialty. So you would assume he'll get them ready to play. All right, so I'm definitely going to lean on you in this area because I'm not too familiar.
Hey, y'all can take notes, man. I'm gonna put y'all on game on this Mountain West. I'm not to say
coaches changes. I'm not so high on what's going on.
Hey, I'm gonna give you the real, bro. That's all. I watch this shit. I watch it because it's something that I've been able to comprehend well. Let me say it like that. So let's keep going. I'm gonna keep breaking it down my way.
Mountain West is how I feel about the MAC. Like I feel like that's my adopted conference. I'll stay nowhere near there, but I fucking love that
shit. I need you in the MAC. That's early week money. I want to be plus money on Thursday.
Hey, look,
fucking around with the MAC.
Hey, take the over.
Take the over. Take the over.
Take the over now. What's the plan here? The plan here is what we're doing here, bro. Banana Buoy. What we're doing here is we're breaking down each conference up until week 0. Our college football betting show is on Tuesdays, starting about 2 weeks. So we decided to bust down each conference, the top 5, and we threw in Mountain West, we threw in AC, and we're going to throw in the MAC. So right now we're doing the Mountain West, and we'll do the American Conference here in a second. Scott Frost will be done. See, we already beat the Big 12.
Can I answer that question? Can I answer that question for him?
Go ahead.
You're absolutely right, bro. You're absolutely right. Who couldn't see that if Scott Frost don't change the wheels? Nebraska been trying to be a top team for so long. If he don't get it right, he got to go. I agree totally. But stick with us right here, and we're going to put you on some other game, especially if you're a sports bettor, so you can get paid. We trying to get you paid, man.
Right. This is all about.
We appreciate your questions, but we trying to get you paid.
Yeah. Appreciate the questions. We definitely are all about getting paid over here, man. All this shit is free. We don't ask nobody for no picks. You go to each one of our channels. We all just trying to help everybody get some bread. You know what I'm saying? No one wants to live out there in the corn. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I agree with you. Scott Frost will be done if he don't turn around. We did actually do the Big Ten with Moose Money Bets last week. So if you want to check on that show, you know what I'm saying, we do talk about Scott Frost. I think we probably don't spend too much time on Nebraska because they're irrelevant in that conference right now. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate you tuning in. No ladies there. Appreciate you tuning in, my brother, and welcome to the channel. It's cold, frozen tundra. No, like all I saw was no ladies. I ain't never been that way, man. I'm a Texas boy. I know nothing about what it's like to be in Nebraska. Probably won't ever find out. Don't plan on doing it. Shout out to New Orleans, though. I was in New Orleans last week. Hit a couple casinos, hit Bourbon, hit Canal. You know, hit a couple spots. Was chilling had a fellas trip out there in New Orleans. You know, all my boys from the high school days decided to go link up. But anyway, boss, what's the coaching changes that matter out here in this conference?
Okay. The biggest 2 coaching change is my man Jay Norvell from Nevada jumped out and went over to Colorado State, took 8 players with him,
Oh wow.
some more shit, and then my guy Ken Wilson, he comes in and takes over Nevada over there for them. I think that is one of the biggest coaches changes. But we got a bunch of coaches that may be on the hot seat, such as your guy Danny over there. Okay. So Tommy Chang, he took over as coach at he took over as coach at Hawaii, and he's an ex-quarterback over there.
Right,
now he's
right,
going to be the head coach over there. So he was a part of the whole era where Hawaii scored 50 points a game and
They were
stuff like that.
just airing it the fuck out.
Yeah, so he's taking over at Hawaii, and let me make sure I don't forget nobody. Okay, so your boy Marcus Arroyo over at UNLV, his ass on the hot seat for sure too. I think he just been bullshitting this team along and collecting the check. And they got too much money in Vegas to be playing around like that. They in the Allegiant Stadium. They got him from Oregon because they felt he was a quality coach and paid him properly. Now he year 1 he blamed it on the COVID. Year 2 he slightly blamed it on the COVID, but they got him what he wanted year 2. Year 3, what is this? I think this is year 3 right here for him. And at this point, you know what I'm saying? It's either show and improve right here. They don't got time for that in Vegas. You got the UFC out there. You got the Raiders out there. They in the brand new stadium. They talking about bringing a basketball and the baseball team. They need to put UNL. They didn't close Sam Boyle Field, moved into the big house. They looking for results. But I think that guy could be on the hot seat as well. But that's basically it as far as coaching changes around the Mountain West.
All right, man. But Banana Bush, y'all crazy, man. Who's Ducky? You good, bro? You good, man? Check in. This is Sports Betting Show. We're gonna try to figure out how to make money in college football.
Yeah, we can speed. I can help us speed the Mountain West up, man.
Banana
We can just
Bush,
keep
man.
rolling it
Chill
through,
out,
man.
chill out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into look. This is what I want to get into right here. So you give me yours, I'll give you mine. We're not talking about the big 3. We already went over that, right? We're going to exclude the Fresno States. We're going to exclude the Air Force and Boise States. What's a team that, maybe some kind of way, a couple injuries maybe fall their way. They perform better than expected. A couple teams collapse, yada, yada, yada. And this team can sneak out of nowhere and perform a lot better than most people expected.
Damn, that's a sad situation right there, man. Sad situation. Because I don't see it happening at UNLV.
No.
I don't see it happening at Hawaii.
No.
Maybe San Jose State. Maybe. Just maybe. He returns. San Jose State returns 4 on offense, but they get 8 on defense. 7 of them are seniors. So I told you, these guys like Brent Brenner, so they stay behind those extra years to hang out with them. So the defense is basically intact, and the offense is where all the questions is. But they get in Cordero. They got Cordero from Hawaii to come over there. Now, that guy, he's a playmaker. He likes to get outside the pocket. He's a little short guy, but he can get outside the pocket. He can run the ball a little bit. He has a high ceiling, Cordero.
I like Cordero.
Yeah, if Cordero could come over here to San Jose State and really get the offense going with the defense that they have and the coaching that they have, Brenner might be able to slide into that 3 or 4 spot. Maybe even I would say maybe even 1 or 2 spot on like the luckiest shit that he had. But I don't think Brenner's gonna be here for a long time because the guy, I mean, just me watching for the last few years, he really has some really good coaching. He's whenever you're able to build a team from 1 in fucking 9, and you get him in positions that he's done. you got to recognize that. And those are the type of guys that contribute in the NFL, Major League. They contribute on as assistant coaches on places like Alabama, Auburn, stuff like that. Not necessarily that he's looking for the best head coaching job leaving here, but this guy could be an asset somewhere in football other than San Jose State. But hey, if you're from Cali or been to Cali to the Bay, shit, San Jose State so goddamn cool, he might just want to stay there just because so goddamn laid back.
I heard it's beautiful out there, though. I never made it when I was staying in Vegas over there, but I wanted to so goddamn bad because I heard it was fucking nice just to be over in San Diego.
Yeah, that's why I bet him at home, man. They have cool shit like fucking dollar beer night for the students and crazy shit like that at the home stadium. So I stay tapped into the Mountain West. Like I said, I got a couple little spots I go and find information. And yeah, you definitely want to check and see what type of promotions and stuff they have going on at San Jose State for the games because, it's not much to do in that city and it's really nice. So people will show up for a game right there. And, they have the talent now to win sometimes. They used to be like a 3-9 or some crazy shit team. They wasn't all that for a long time. But Brent Brenner has brought them up a little bit.
Right. So we talked about this team earlier. For me, it was between, as far as like you said, I don't see any of this shit happening. Because the winner is going to be one of those three dogs that we named. Boise, Air Force, or Fresno, in my opinion. But I thought if we were going to take those teams away and pick out of somebody, it would have to be Colorado State or San Jose State. I guess I could have went the easy route and took San Diego State and took the Aztecs. I felt that was kind of obvious. Like, if you don't pick the top three, who else is there left? But
hey, I'm not gonna totally say nothing about Utah State. I know I did bash my man Blake coming back and all that, but if that guy Blake Anderson, he had a lot of trauma when he was at Arkansas State. He had a couple deaths. Like coming over to Utah State was like a whole new start for him. And we know what goes on in Utah, right? Okay, y'all understand me. But he's in a weird situation over there and he's working his way through it. He's a player coach. He happened to get players to play behind him, but I think missing Justin Rice on defense is why he won't make it all the way. That guy was a stud, a real stud. That you can't just replace a stud like Justin Rice. And I'm sorry. And that's going to be the true difference with him. But, I mean, he did a really good job getting that teams last year. Like I said, he wasn't always winning in these games. He came back. A lot of those games was by a short margin. So he could be a freak of a nature, still have the team behind him, and he could compete, for holding the throne. I don't know. I can see him go as far as all the way back to the Mountain West if they for real. He does get his quarterback
coming back.
He get his quarterback back. That's a huge thing right there.
And the leading rusher. Leading rusher's coming
and
back.
his running back.
On offensive line.
Exactly. Yeah, Calvin Tyler. You got running back. You got to replace both receivers. Justin Griffith's coming back. He's like the lone receiver that comes back. Yeah, but the offensive line is fairly intact.
Yeah, their lines is you're gonna.
But the defense held them in it last year. Go watch the tape. All those games that went overtime and all that extra shit, it was because of the defense was playing stud with Justin Rice. He's a leader. He left from Arkansas State under Blake. He went to Fresno State. Soon as he heard Blake was coming to Utah State, he transferred from Fresno State to Utah State, and he was a stud at Fresno State. So, he's gone now, probably to the NFL, but that dude right there, man, he was a big difference for that guy. He played really big for that guy. So I think, come on, you missing one out your trick bag. I don't think, even if he gets to the Mountain West Championship, he don't win it.
He just doesn't have, Well, it's the dark horse.
Everything's
got to go right.
Now, but that'll buoy my favorite comment. That voice ain't the Super Bowl. Come on, man. My man, bro. My buddy asked, man, are they betting on the Super Bowl? That boy been at the movie say the Super Bowl. Come on. Oh, man. Y'all crazy. Man.
So what do you think that Utah State Alabama game?
What do I think about it? Like, what do you mean?
whatever this defense is.
Yeah, all I have to say is Alabama first quarter, first half, and full game.
Yeah, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, who do I think is gonna win? Is that what you asking?
Well, obviously, we know who's gonna win.
Are they gonna cover? What's the spread? And yes.
Yeah,
they're not fucking with no Bama, bro. Like, Bama is like elite. You know what I'm saying? Of college football. I mean, even if they have a down year, their down year is still like a loss or two. That's a down year.
True. Last year was
a down year is making the playoffs but not making the championship. Like, that's a down year, bro.
Ain't nobody from the Mountain West beating Bama but Boise. And that's because they get all the top recruits out of the Mountain West.
Right.
They could be size appropriate, they could be talent appropriate and everything, but everybody else, they can't get to that level.
Look, that's it. Look at this, yo. Stop playing. Yeah, stop playing, bro. That shit not gonna be close. Don't put your money on Utah. I don't care what that spread is. Don't do that shit. I don't care what that spread is. Don't you do it. Even if they get lucky and maybe cover a quarter, it's still a terrible bet to bet that on Utah State. There's no fucking way.
Come on, man. They outside, man. They way outside.
They outside. Like, the best thing they can have going is possibly out scheming them. I don't think.
Hey, Alabama could take their skill players on the bench and put them at offensive line and be able to win the game.
I kind of agree with that thing.
Oh, some cold shit. Like, those guys are strong enough.
SBO, I didn't want to crush that to SBO, but yeah, I agree with that too. I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna let it ride.
Oh, I mean, I'm saying if there is a team in the Mountain West that can beat them, it's gonna be them because they get the best recruits in the conference. I'm not saying that they can't do them. Come on, don't throw me under the bus.
They don't stand that shot. Who's back here now? Pay attention, This man right here, dog. Hey, man, subscribe, bro. We need you in the chat once the show starts jumping off. During the season, bro. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for your boy. I'm gonna need you in here, man. Coach gonna be joining us shortly, I assume. Man, let's keep. I forgot we got a whole other conference to go. So
hey, let's keep it rolling. Yeah, man. Let's keep it rolling.
And keep it good. Let's get into this shit right here. I'm gonna tell you what I think, man, because you this your shit, and I don't want you to pick the same team I'm picking. So let me pick my team first. Or did you already say your team
for the conference championship?
Yeah, because I'm taking Air Force.
Well, I'm taking Air Force too. Then
I mean, they got.
But I'll tell you why I'm gonna take Air Force.
Go ahead, man.
I'll tell you exactly why I'm gonna take Air Force.
Go ahead.
Air Force is in a position that they've never been before. For one, they got Hazik Daniels, who's coming back for his third year because he was injured 1 year. And anybody know anything about military? Those guys have like a 2-year turnover, on the team. So it's rare that you get a third-year quarterback to come back, and this guy come back because of injury. So, and last year he advanced a little bit last year. If he advances a millimeter % this year, then he gets them over the edge. And number two is, I mean, I seen this on Phil Steele. I don't think I seen it on At the Line, but on Phil Steele's they did mention it that the Navy, I mean not the Navy, the military, the armed forces has created a new rule to allow people who service, whatever their job is, to be able to be weight appropriate for their job. So that's going to allow the offensive line, the defensive line to be much bigger this year because they don't have weight restriction. And that's been a thing for a long time. Not to mention, most of these guys is already 24, 25 years old. Now they can be much bigger and come out and play football on the field. So with that rule alone and the third-year quarterback, Now I didn't say this on none of my other shows, but I'm gonna break it down to y'all. So you got to know that the option offense was developed for teams that didn't have as much talent. That's what it's for. That's why the triple option is to trick you out because we have athletes that are not as much developed as more. Well, guess what? These guys been together a little while and they're allowed to be more developed. So now you're gonna have a developed triple option. Have you ever watched a game where a team couldn't stop the triple option? How fast? Like you would think that running most of the game would equal under. But if you catch a team that cannot defend the triple option, that shit going over.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just all I gotta say.
So to piggyback off what Boss said, to focus on a triple option, and Coach put me on this, man, a while ago, like with Army, and Army is like another bet on team that when you don't see this shit week in and week out, it's hard to prepare. The offense is not necessarily a hard offense, but you have to be disciplined, and it's assignment football. What we call assignment football, we mean by like you have this guy linebacker, you got fullback, the end. This is not how it goes, but in certain defenses, the end, you got quarterback, outside linebacker, you got pitch man. And the minute one of those guys fuck up and take the wrong person, it can easily go to the house for like fucking 50, 60-yard runs. And so that's what traditionally happens. And it's because the teams each week, like it's very few teams that run this style of offense still. And that's the key. So you only going to practice it the week you play these teams. So you really only got like 3-4 days to prepare for this triple option offense. It is just essentially people that play football understand the terminology when I say it's all assignment football. And if you blow your assignment, it could cost you 7 or it cost you 6, however you look at it. And that's another reason why, along with Zeke Daniels coming back 3 years started, this team was full of juniors and seniors, everybody. They got 9 fucking guys returning on offense alone. Defense is 6, a little bit scary, but you primarily get your front 7 back. So,
but they 25-year-olds.
I know. So it's like grown men. It's kind of like why I bet on
BYU.
Fucking love betting on BYU because you got to understand they take that 2-year sabbatical. They got to come back. These fucking grown men are playing with like 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids. So that's another reason why I'm with you, boss, and I'm gonna fucking bet on Air Force all fucking year. I'm looking at the schedule now. Obviously, the Army game and the Navy game because those are like what do they call them?
Service
games.
Right.
Always take the under. We already know this.
Right.
Any capper that even been around for a little while know all military games you take the under. No doubt. Don't debate it. Don't think about it or nothing. Like
see, they can play each other because they do that shit every day in practice. You know what I'm saying? So like it's different with those games. But like Northern Iowa, Colorado will probably, I think, maybe a tough game for them. But you're Wyoming. I think they win that. Nevada at Utah State will be a fucking good game. And they get Boise at home. And so I think
they beat Boise last year.
And see if they had
at their house, now they get them at home.
Right, now they get him at home. And so if that game was at Boise, I'd be a little bit more nervous than I would be, even though they did beat them last year. But just revenge on the blue turf, coming off a loss, I think that's crucial. But like you said, get them at home. They have to go on the road to end the season at San Diego State. I think that'll be a big game.
That'll be the one
to decide some shit.
That'll be the one.
That one. I think they're good, man. At Utah State, October 8th, and at San Diego State will be the 2 games that are looking like slip-ups, or I won't say slip-ups, because if they lose, those are two.
Let me add to that, though. That San Diego State game, that probably be the most volatile one because San Diego State, the way they play physical defense, you go from a 25-year-old that, the Air Force would, have that's physical to one of these 18, 19-year-olds that's just a freak of nature physical, you know, because that's the kind of players that they have. So San Diego's mistake, they may be able to spoil it for them if they don't get there all the way.
That's going to be a big game because I think
Yeah.
San Diego State is probably going to have a lot riding on that game as well. If Air Force beats Boise, or even if they probably lose, that might determine the conference championship. Who goes? Honestly, I think so.
Hey, also to double down on what you were saying about the option offense and that, if you even go further into it, most teams try to come off of a bye week or something to play teams that have the option because that's a key factor as a sports bettor. When a team is coming off a bye week playing an option team, they have more time to teach responsibility football. So that's when you want to fade them. But as far as when a team is just coming off another team to play that option team, they always can't get ready in 2, 3, 4, 5 days. You start calculating travel and practice time, and you might have a gym.
It's not enough time. And it's not like the traditional option. They run it so many different ways from how, you know, back in the day when it was just like fullback dive and court. Now they run it with the end around tight end coming around, receivers coming around. So it's a lot of shit, like you said, to prepare. It's a lot to prepare for when it's assignment football. When it's like, man, if this one guy fucks up and misses his assignment, it can literally be a touchdown, or it's going to easily be a big play. Then you throw the fact that Zeke can throw a little bit. He can fucking throw the ball. So now you got to worry about the play action. So, like, they're going to be definitely a fucking bet on team for me, man, especially, like I said, looking at the schedule. I can't. I thought Colorado was pretty good last year. I can't remember. We're doing Big 12.
They had their Pac-12. Colorado. They had their ups and downs, man. They had a really solid run game that some teams just couldn't handle, but teams that can handle it could whoop their ass. So that was basically the story. Then they got taken down by injury and all that other stuff towards the end of the season. I think they had like a bad season last year. It might be 5-6 or 5-7 or some shit.
I can't remember, but we're doing that Sunday, so I'll start looking at it tomorrow.
Oh no, I'm not watching the show with you on the Pac-12. Oh no, wait. No, let me change that around. I'm having all my SC fans, all my UCLA fans. I'm having them all tune in to the show and talk shit in the chat. They coming for you.
Yeah, because I'm about to talk. Please tell them because I am about to talk cash money shit about the goddamn outside of USC. I might talk shit. They lucky Lincoln Riley came because before that I was gonna talk shit about they funky ass too.
Shit, my barber showed me this morning his USC jacket and his pants that he went and got and all this old shit. Oh yeah, he got season tickets and shit. Oh man, they think the band is back together.
I feel them this year. You know, Lincoln Riley. You know, they got high hopes. I just hope he deliver, which he should. But you know, he don't.
Two losses on their season is trash. They lose 2 games. Nothing they expected.
I gotta look at this. That's possible. I gotta go look at their schedule. So I don't know. That's possible. I don't know who they playing inside that weak ass conference. You know they can run the tables. Who they gotta play? Utah.
It don't matter when you putting together a team like that. You could just have an off week. You know what I'm saying? Me and Big Ragu, we talked about that. It doesn't happen as much as it used to when teams got beat because they were looking ahead and stuff like that. It doesn't happen as often no more, but it still does happen, and that can happen to USC.
It's damn well possible. It's damn well possible because it's a trash conference.
So. It can happen with UCLA. It can happen with USC. They got a bunch of teams that historically has caught them, you know, on some years before, including Notre Dame, right? Notre Dame, Arizona State, UCLA.
Oh man, my homie Picks from Dave, who does my baseball show, who's doing the Pac-12, he told me to ask you if you didn't mind coming on because he is a USC fan and you are a Notre Dame fan. So, you know, he wanted to talk about, you know, he wanted to just gauge how that conversation would go.
Hey, put me on the show. Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach. I'm ready for shit like this. I'm ready for shit like this all the time. Put me in. Damn, the Sun Belt.
That boy told me do not waste my time with the Pac-12. I mean, apparently,
Damn.
it's supposed to be one of the Power Fives, man. That's what they tell us every year. But
Don't be surprised you see USC in the playoffs.
man, Cali kids don't even stay out there, man. That should let you know, man. They already. You got kids from Cali going all the way to Alabama, Tuscaloosa. It ain't nothing in Tuscaloosa, man.
They going to live with a wall and a Sonic. That's it.
That's it. And a Dairy Queen. All right, man. We done with the Mountain West. There's one more question, but I don't think we need to answer that question. I think it would be a waste of our time. So let's keep it moving to I thought Coach would be here by now, but I think Coach might have been a little might have had a little bit too much to drink on. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it moving on. Boom, jump onto this AAC flat top. You told me you was ready for this one, so we gonna start here. Talk about the American Conference, the AAC All-American Conference. We'll do an overall preview, overall rough draft. Talk about a little bit what happened last year. Talk about what we expect. Obviously, Bearcats, Cincinnati, they won the conference. Finally made it. Had a team from the AAC make it into the playoff. Let us know anything is possible. In the words of KG, one of the little dogs made it. Now, Cincinnati's supposed to be strong. I still expect them to be strong. They lose their quarterback, the leader of the team. They lose Sauce Gardner. They lose. I think they lose that entire secondary, if I'm not mistaken. Back there, not only Sauce, but they only got. They only have 4 guys returning from the defense overall period, which was one of the things about Cincinnati that stood out, or at least one of the things they relied on. They were number 1 in scoring defense. Number 2 in the conference in scoring defense. No. Number 1, 16.9 points a game. Number 1 in passing defense. Number 2 in total defense, and number 5 in rushing defense, and only returning 4 starters. Big concern for me. However, they do return 7 on offense, mainly everybody up front along with the tight end, but we're replacing all skill guys. Big concern for me. I kind of like, call me a homer. I like U of H. Obviously, they're returning their quarterback, Clayton Tune, who I think he's a 6-year senior. But we lost McCaskill, fucking freshman superstar running back, cause for concern. But we do have a USC transfer, Bryce Johnson. I think that's his name. No.
No, it's
That's another guy, Joseph
Campbell, I think. Not Campbell.
Joseph.
It was
Manjack. I don't know. One of those guys. We got a USC transfer. We got a USC transfer at running back that I'm hoping that can replace that. So that I also like East Carolina. The Pirates are going to be, I think, pretty good. I'll talk about them later on when we do something else. But I really like what they're doing. They're going to fucking run the ball down some people's throats, and that's my kind of football. So that's just some of the things I talk about. I think SMU's going to take a step back because they lose their coach. Was it Sonny Dykes? Is that their coach? Sonny Dykes? So I think that's going to hurt them a little bit. So they kind of take a step back. But, yeah. All right. What are your thoughts on the American Conference so far, Flat Top?
You hit on a lot of it. Cincinnati.
I'm sorry, man. I've been trying to go super long with it.
No, it's all good, man. Cincinnati, they, the biggest thing for me is that they're returning that line. So they did lose, Ford, and you lose Ritter, but if you got the The hog mollies up front. You can figure some stuff out. Give your quarterback some time. For the most part, you still got your lead man and Luke Fickell. They recruited decently. I think but like you were saying, there's a chance for like Houston to kind of jump up with kind of what Jana Holgerson was doing, and it's the same names at the top of that AAC, the American Conference,
right.
But it's last year it was kind of, again, you hit the nail on the head with the little dog getting in with the big dogs. I don't think it's going to be that type of year. We talk about that later, but there's still some pretty good teams in this American Conference. But I think the top, that Cincinnati, the Houston, I think UCF's going to take a step forward this year with some of the stuff that they have, their transfers, and but I'm kind of interested to hear on what Big Boss thinks about American Conference.
Man, first of all, I'm finding my man Marley for going with because I'm from Houston, I'm gonna back Houston. Get that shit out of here, man. This goddamn Cincinnati team, they can't do nothing but run the table in this conference right here. The whole thing with them going to the playoffs and everything got to do with Luke Fickell. They're trying to get Luke Fickell to the next level. He was rumored a Notre Dame coach. He can go to the NFL. They're just trying to pave the way for this guy because he got this conference on lock. He's 48-15 right here at Cincinnati. So what? He only gets, he got a new quarterback. He got 5 starting linemen over there.
Yeah.
He can run the ball all day if he like, along with his lockdown D that he got. And now he does miss something on the defense, but that's what he teaches. He in his 6th year. He's built this team from the ground. Well, not from the ground up. He did take over it and all that kind of stuff, but this guy has built this team to the point where it is, and he has depth behind him. He has returners. He has the whole package to run this shit right here. Houston, I love what's his Hungersome. I love Hungersome over there. You know what I'm saying? But he's not on that level. This dude coaching is on the same level as the big boys. Real talk. Like he could go take over an SEC team, and in a couple years, he can have them in a nice position where they're competing, So it's all about Luke Fickell at Cincinnati. They're going to get tired of this guy over here at the American because he's going to be running the table on them. This is going to be his 3rd year in a row. Lock it up for Cincinnati right here, man.
Big balls. I know people hate on Houston. It's cool.
It ain't got nothing to do with Houston. I love Houston. That's one of my favorite places to vacation. But I can't just say, the city is bombed, so the football team gonna be bombed. Nah, man, that guy over there, Hogerson, is a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? He did a good job, and he's continuing to do a good job, but not on the level as Luke Fickell and what they got going on at Cincinnati. We more worried about who they got to play out of conference and who they got to play in the playoffs or a bowl game, because we're not really caring about who they got to play in their conference.
Now, I think, look, I said what I said.
UCF used to be a challenge, but UCF ain't the same UCF. Houston,
no.
They still doing what they do. I think Houston is still suffering because what's the old boy that left there and went to Miami, the quarterback, weird ass dude.
De'Aaron King.
Yeah, that shit got the rug got pulled from under their feet. They still mad at that shit, and ain't been able to recover since offensively. But
they put
up like 36 points a game last year.
Yeah, Clayton Tune was balling last year.
36 points a game is.
Yeah, I give him that, but I'm just saying a total recovery from the rug being pulled over him, I don't know yet. And as far as beating the Cincinnati team, no, ain't gonna happen.
Well, we don't see them. We don't see them in the regular season, so our bad. Fruities. We don't see them in the regular season. So if they do match up, it'll have to be in the championship game.
Yeah.
Houston's schedule is tough, man. I mean, they opened up with UTSA. I don't know if boys know about UTSA, but I've been on that train for about 2 years now, and they've been making some fucking money. And they're a tough team. Then they got Tech, which I think they can beat Tech, beat Kansas, Rice, Memphis. At SMU, it's always a tough game, but I think they take a step back with their coach. I think boys is sleeping on East Carolina. Speaking of, you know what I'm saying? I'm jumping around a little bit, but this is like my, dark horse, so to speak, of the conference. They're not one of the big boys. They're not Cincinnati. They're not U of H. They're not UFC. But I think the way they play football, and what they do, which is they're gonna run the fucking ball down a lot of people's throats this year. Mike Houston, that's just his thing. That was his agenda when he first got there, was to rebuild the O line, and that's what he's done. He's returning 2 sets of tight ends. I think he's returning like 3 running backs from last year, including Keaton Mitchell. He went over 1,000 yards last year with 9 TDs, and Rashad Harris. Both are the starters. Yeah. Rashad Harris and Keaton Mitchell, they're the 2 that's coming back, and they're coming back behind a veteran offensive line. Now the defense, it wasn't. Look, they went 7-5 and 5-3 last year. The defense gave up over 25 points a game, but I think they are going to take a step in the right direction. I think this team is going to surprise a lot of people. Athlon has them going, I believe, 7-5. I think they can get as high as 8-4, 9-3. I don't know why, man. I just got a really good feeling about this team. And looking at it, the schedule, they start out with North Carolina State. I think that would be a loss. Then I think they get rolling with ODU, Campbell. I think they can beat Navy. That obviously the triple option, like we just talked about, is going to cause some issues. But after that, the end of their schedule is going to determine where they are. And they got BYU, Cincinnati, and Houston, 3 games back to back to back to back. So I don't know if they can beat you out there. Is BYU? I gotta see what's all coming back for BYU with is Alzier and those guys coming back. That might be a tough game. They're not going to go into Cincinnati and beat Cincinnati, I don't think. And I don't know if they win that Houston game. So they got to start out strong. I mean, I see 4 losses right now, NC State. I think they can get one of those BYU, Cincinnati, or Houston games. So that's like a 3-loss season. I think they'll surprise some people. I'm not that high on Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati. I think Ryder was a lot for them. I think Sauce and that secondary did a lot for them defensively last year. I think the defense takes a step back, Buck Boss. So I'm not saying they don't. Yeah, I am saying they don't win the conference because I'm picking Houston. But I think if they do win I can see them winning the conference. They're definitely the most talented top to bottom team in the conference. But I think Houston is right on their ass, especially defensively. Houston's been sending defensive linemen to the NFL, straight to the league since before. God damn it, old buddy from last year. I don't know why his name's slipping my mind. Ed Oliver from 2019. Then you had Peyton Turner last year. So and then you got DeAnthony Jones and Derek Parrish are gonna be the new guys this year. So they have the talent to compete with Cincinnati, and I think losing Ryder and Houston having Clayton Tune, the quarterback, is going to be the difference. So that's my dark horse, and then I already went to my conference champion. I'm just talking right now, but yeah, that's what I think as far as Cincinnati Houston goes. I think you muted, boss.
What's a flat top dark horse?
You want mine? Okay, so
Yeah,
my
yeah.
dark horse.
I'm gonna go third.
Okay, so this is my dark horse, and keep in mind, dark horse.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
SMU,
yeah.
they got their new coach, Lashley. I think for them,
I
the
like
biggest
Lash.
thing is going to be their defense. As far as offense, they're returning both the quarterbacks that they had. They're coming off, almost 40 points a game. Offense, I think they'll be fine. They're getting back their skill positions. They're returning 3 starters on the line, so there's definitely worse scenarios. Defense is really going to be the key to this whole them panning out to be a dark horse. A good thing for them is their schedule. They have Cincinnati, they have Houston at home. So if there's like a chance, always playing at the crib gives you a little bit of a boost, a chance to, they're coming into our house, we got to defend it. Play a little bit harder at home. But defense, so they were giving up, damn near 35 points a game in American Conference play. That's not going to get it done. Their defensive pass efficiency was terrible, but they're getting back 7 of those starters. So I think new coach, proven, you got the offense more or less. Just proving it on defense, I think they've got a shot, win 8-9 games. If everything goes right and their defense plays improves, more inspired, I think we could be talking about, the third team, maybe second team if they get really lucky. So SMU is my dark horse. I'm not 100% sold on their defense doing what they need to do, but if they do actually do it, offensively, they've got the tools, I think, to hang around and be in that conversation for the top 3. So
I like the pick. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. I'm scared of the new system. That's why I kind of pick them. But yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you said. Big boss.
Booyah. So for the sake of the show and the love of the fans and the people everywhere that watch the show, I'm going to just add to it. And I'm going to say my dark horse is Memphis. I'm going to go with Memphis straight based on my theory about third-year coaches, fourth-year coaches. This guy right here on his 3rd year, he showed some improvement. Went 6-6 last year. He's able to move the ball in the air. He gets his quarterback back this year, and he's also got 6 on offense, 6 on defense. That's a fair scorecard for a 3rd-year coach coming into it. He got some recruits. He should have some depth that people don't know about that could be able to change everything to make his dark horse dream come true. Mm-hmm. So for this guy right over here, Ryan Silverfield at Memphis, I'm going to back him and say that he got a chance to slide up in here, maybe end up in the championship game instead of Houston on a great year from him. Cincinnati, Memphis, Cincinnati's whoops the shit out of them and goes into the playoffs. Case closed.
Case closed. Sign sealed and delivered.
Where my gavel at? Doc, 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 doc. Case closed. Baby daddy got to pay all the money.
I like Memphis. I like both of those dark horses. I like SMU especially, but the new coach kind of scares me a little bit more than anything. Memphis has a good chance, man. I like what they was doing last year. They definitely can score the ball, averaging 30 points a game. We're going to expect that continue when you bring it back to quarterback and all the skill guys. And half of the offensive line, I think you got to place your left tackle. Obviously, that's huge. But and the defense has to play better. They can't give up 30 fucking points a game. They're returning 6 starters. Basically, though, they're losing their front 7, but returning the back end. So I don't know, how that's going to pan out. But
damn, Marley just shitted on my dark horse.
No.
I like your pick, but here's all the things that are wrong.
Hey, a dark horse is a dark horse. Yeah, I didn't say it was a front line winner. Damn,
that's what I'm saying. Dark horse. Like
shitted on my shit. That's all right. I'm gonna stick with it.
Look, the crazy thing is, according to Athlon, all our dark horses, SMU is picked to come in 4th in the conference. Yeah. East Carolina is picked to come in 5th in the conference, and Memphis is picked to come in 6th. So we all picked like
Yeah.
the 4, 5, 6 teams as our dark horses.
Hey.
So, I mean, I agree with all of them. Now, I wouldn't.
I'm gonna put Memphis at the number 4 spot and take SMU out of there. Hey, we've been getting these magazines for years now, and these magazines been wrong every goddamn year.
Yeah,
in some conference. Right. I ain't gonna say I'm not gonna discredit none of them because I use them year in, year out. Yeah. They do great research. They give us great edges. But at the same time, their list of who's the top 25 is made to be changed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If it stayed the same, why even have it?
So for everybody that don't understand this shit, and I agree 100% with Big Boss over here, like this shit is used for information. It's not used for predictions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I buy this shit because they facts.
I got my shit with the Notre Dame shit on it.
Fuck that shit. I got this Texas edition, even though I ain't no Texas fan. But you know what I'm saying? This shit is to do the research. You know, these guys have done a lot of the research for us, so we don't have to go and find shit. It's
absolutely, man.
In one source. So for anybody that doesn't understand, I mean, like Boss said, all you gotta do is look at the top 25. If that shit was correct, if those people were right all the time, that top 25 wouldn't change too much, and we see how it changes fucking week to week. So
that should be busted the first goddamn week.
You're right.
So for anybody that's new to this shit, man, any website you go to, any magazine you buy that gives predictions, I would take that shit with a grain of salt. You're supposed to just use the information that they provide, not predictions.
But I will say, Athlon and Phil Steele's, I do endorse those two. I mean, if you go to the story of Phil Steele's, he actually, before he became ESPN, Big Shot, and all this, he actually hopped on the phone, took them flights and all that shit to contact with all those coaches himself from the beginning of when football ended in like March or whatever, all the way to June. But now if you look inside of his book, it'll show you that he has a staff that does these things too. So if you're a believer in modern technology, then you'll say, hey, that staff that does stuff now does stuff way more efficient because it's more of them. But if you old school like me, you might say, hey, when he was 10 toes down doing his thing throughout the nation, his insight was much better. You know, but every now and then he still hop on the phone with a couple coaches and do some interviews and stuff. So shout out to Phil Steele's. Shout out to Ethelon too. I like Ethelon because they're able to jump up and make sure we hashtag both of them in the retweet of this goddamn shit. Because I don't do this shit for fun. But
you're right. I do too.
Ethelon, shout out to them because they come in a proper amount of time. You know what I'm saying? They drop a little bit early. The information may be a little bit less accurate, but they get it to you right away to when you can get like a pre-head on it. And with today's internet, you can go to you got to go back to the internet and cross-reference shit. Don't think that we be on here just reading this bullshit and thinking that's what it is. You got to go on there and watch the press conferences. You got to go on there and watch the conference day. You got to go on there and watch.
And you got to get a Twitter, goddammit.
You got to get a goddamn Twitter.
If you want fucking last minute information like injury reports and shit like that, bro, like you gotta, like that's where it's gonna hit first, bro. Like for any capper that's out there, anybody that just fucking sports bet, like.
But I also encourage y'all to indulge in the podcast and shit too, because like with my Mountain West information, a lot of that shit I get from a cold ass podcast. They told me that they never announced it that the two I think it was a wide receiver and a tight end on San Diego State wasn't playing in the conference championship last year against Utah State. I said it on the show just because I had heard it, but I didn't see no ESPN, no 24/7. I didn't see nobody stamp it, but it was an absolute truth. It went even further than them two players. It was about 6 players that didn't play in that game because of that. So don't look past the podcast too, but also, man, do what makes you cool with. Everybody's platform ain't cool for you. You don't understand it, whatever. Find you some resources that's cool with you.
We definitely have a fucking different podcast here.
And definitely fuck with us though, because we do all that work for you.
We
and
do
we
that
just
shit
give
for
you the
you, so
real.
you don't have to do it. We just give you the real.
Yeah.
And like everything we give you, like you lose, I lose. Keep that in mind.
Hey,
Like,
and you messing with a real capper. That's all I don't charge for picks or nothing, but all I ask is that, or all I tell you is I really look up these games. I'm not pulling this shit out of my ass. You know what I'm saying? And you can tell from everybody on this show that we do our homework. We got our books. We got our internet shit. We YouTube. We do all of our stuff.
I got my own notes. Don't get it twisted. Like
Yeah,
I got my
for
shit
sure.
that I write down. It's not just
So if you a new better and you new to this and you ain't made it to this level, come hop in the chat, ask us some questions. We'll give you the game because that's what we do. It's a big fellowship of people out here trying to beat the bookies, and that's us.
Thanks. That's a good note to end on, man. I like that shit. I don't know if we predicted a conference champion. I know I gave mine.
But I had a question.
Go ahead.
So with the class talking about Cincinnati, so for them getting to the the playoffs, that means you see them beating Arkansas in Arkansas week 1?
Arkansas, that's the level of football that they play. They're going to take that game seriously. They're not going that game. Most teams go into those type of games thinking, oh, these guys come from a better conference than us. They're more defensive than us. They're better recruited than us. Not the Cincinnati teams. These type of teams go in those things like, we're going to show them what's popping over here. We in the AAC for other reasons, right? But we here to play football, and I definitely give me the points. I'm taking Cincinnati all day. Plus, on top of that, Luke Fickell, he's the type of coach that he's similar like Brian Kelly. That's why I really thought Luke Fickell was coming to Notre Dame. So I might be a little bit biased. I think he would have been a better fit than who we got.
He sound kind of biased,
but he understands the game to the point that you don't go play these type of teams and think you're just gonna run the scoreboard up. You play tug of war. You know what I'm saying? You use the clock to your advantage. He knows all those type of disciplines of coaching, and going into these type of games. Come on, Arkansas. If you would have said Georgia, you know what I'm saying?
I'm saying what's on the
Texas
schedule.
A&M, LSU maybe, but Arkansas. Come on, man, he got that.
As a better, if they're running the table, that means week 1, upset at Arkansas. They already got the lines out.
What's that line? What's that line?
Arkansas, I think it was like 3.5 or
money line that shit, bro.
Yeah,
get you some paper. Money line that shit.
I don't know. Ooh.
Ain't no other way to do it.
I gotta look at. I keep in mind I haven't broke down SEC yet, so I'm not sure what's all coming back.
It's 3.5.
What? I did the SEC already.
What we're gonna do?
Arkansas is playing football. They like to run the ball on the ground and play tough defense. They're not even entertaining moving the ball in the air like that. And these dudes basically do the same thing. They're gonna do the same thing, but they're gonna be a little more efficient. They're gonna be a little more disciplined, and they're gonna be a little more, hammering at it all the time. So the Arkansas have been trying to get them together to do that.
Yeah.
But if Arkansas is an awesome team this year, bam, they get the W. But if they the same thing they was last year, maybe a couple of notches up, then they take the L.
Yeah, that's gonna be
just trying to make money. So I'm asking as a better.
That's definitely gonna be on the schedule for week 1 breakdown. That's gonna be a good game.
But at 3 points though, don't mind me. I'm a little tipsy. Don't take the money line. Take them goddamn 3 points.
Take the points.
Take them goddamn. Nobody's gonna get beat by 3 points. Now, if it was like 10 or something like that, and I felt the same adamant about it, I say go ahead and take a money line. But at 3 points, take the 3 points, man. Don't play with yourself like that.
Take the points. Flat top. Give me a conference. We know Big Boss is on the Bearcats. Cincinnati.
I'm on Cincinnati all the way.
For the Cougars, who you got?
Yeah, I gotta go with Cincinnati. They haven't proven like Cincinnati, even though they're losing a lot. I think they're still going to be a top 20 team at the end of the year. Regardless, I think I'm not as confident they're going to run the table. They might lose one, but someone's going to have to prove that they're better than Cincinnati in the American.
Well,
this might be the year Houston does it. I think stars could align, but Fickle's a hell of a coach, and you got to beat Cincinnati. They're not going to beat themselves.
No, I think even with I think even the one loss Cincinnati will get to play in the championship against the Cougars, and we'll see what happens. We'll revisit this video, and
we'll see.
Hey,
we'll
in the words of my boy Denzel Washington, it's chess, not checkers, Hoyt.
Yeah. I like that. Hey, we'll revisit this video in a couple months, and we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, man.
I think Athlon has the same conference championship. Actually, they have Cincinnati winning. They have Cincinnati over Houston in the conference championship. So
now I'm worried. Now that they got it, I'm worried now. Shit. Wait a minute. Let me retract some of them statements.
A little bulletin board material when they
I don't want to be on the same side of Athlon. Come on,
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, y'all ride together.
They gave me the wrong starting quarterback 5 times.
All right, man. That wraps both conferences. Actually didn't do too bad, man. We barely crept over the hour mark. Well, like 57.
That's what's up.
This was short. This was shorter than the ACC.
Well, they bigger conferences, more shit to talk about. More. Hey,
I'm ready for the SEC though. If y'all ain't did y'all, me and my boy Big Ragu, we did ours. So you already know. Check out Who Banging Sports. Who Banging just like it's spelled right there on the owl. Go ahead, knock it down. And we did the SEC, but I love to come back on here and do the SEC with you, bro. That'll be my pleasure. It'll be my pleasure and my honor to be on the SEC show with my man Marley and run through this shit.
Say this, dog. All you ever got to do is say when y'all doing the show.
Put me in, coach.
For sure. So we gonna do that. I believe that's gonna be like Thursday next week. Let's go. We gotta do the big dogs last. So they get their last show Thursday or Friday next week. Sunday we do Pac-12 and MAC, and we wrap it all up next week with the SEC. So any one of those shows y'all want to get on, please come on the SEC show so we can talk mini NFL, as I call it. That's what I'm going to
mini NFL.
Yeah. I'm not going to even title the SEC.
Kentucky mini NFL. Oh my
Kentucky's
God.
going to be good this year.
Oh my God.
Don't sleep on Kentucky this year.
They're not going to beat the Bears. No.
They can beat Cincinnati.
Not Kentucky. Cincinnati in the American Conference for sure. But not Cincinnati NFL.
That's the top of the American Conference.
You said it mini NFL. I'm still digesting that.
Kentucky. Yeah, mini NFL.
Kentucky, I can't take as mini NFL.
Kentucky can beat
I'm gonna take Ohio State mini NFL before Kentucky
for 1 year. Yeah, this year. But what about next year?
Next year too.
You can't call Ohio State. So
Ohio State been nice for the last 9 years.
That's one team in the Big Ten. One team.
I'm just saying.
You can't call one team.
I'm gonna take Notre Dame. I'm gonna take Notre Dame too.
Alabama has probably put the most. The SEC has put the most kids in the NFL in the last 20 years.
I think I looked that up and it was Notre Dame. Go check it out. Go check it out. Go check it out.
Check it out. Shut up.
Go check it out.
Please come and discuss.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie though. Our Notre Dame shit might go down to 1962 or some shit.
I mean, overall,
at the same time,
it's gonna stop. But it's gonna stop at like 80 something.
It's never gonna stop. It's never gonna stop.
Shit, lady.
It's never gonna stop.
Serious, dog. We got
never gonna stop. We still getting top tier recruits. We're never gonna stop.
Yeah. Y'all
never gonna stop.
I mean, stop doing what? Stop. What do you mean by stop?
We're never gonna stop sending kids to the NFL. We could go 3-10. We went 3-10 with Brian Kelly, but that's not gonna stop us sending. That's not gonna stop us sending 4 and 5 star athletes who are good in and out the classroom. Like we're not gonna stop sending them to the NFL.
That's true. I will agree with that. But
even Manti Te'o, we're not.
But y'all have stopped winning national championships, and that is over.
I mean,
it won't come back.
I mean, when Saban retire, we'll talk about it again. Shit. How
In
about
30
that?
years.
I had to. Hey, I had to live through the Pete Carroll era. I lived through the fucking
You're right.
Saban era too. And after that shit go, we'll get a fucking Notre
I
Dame
don't
era.
know, SBO. I don't
Might
have
be the Marcus Freeman era. We don't know.
I like Marcus Freeman.
I like Marcus Freeman.
Hey, they got us
I
coming
like
out
I
in the
like
weak ass top 25. They got us as number 6. I don't even see why.
think
I
for the
see a
simple
3-loss season, but
I
we'll
think for the
see.
simple fact that he's a brother, that he's going to get you a little bit more talent, because when he goes sits in those living rooms and
Yep.
tell those
Talk
black
to those parents.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, coaching is about managing the team properly, managing the staff properly, and all those type of things. It
No, no,
don't
no,
care. So
agree.
what you is the best linebacker. So what you can recruit well. So what you can do all those things. If you can't manage the team overall to a victory, that's in the scoreboard, in running or passing, what defense you run, when you decide to send in the fucking team to save the game and shit. So I can't give my boy Freeman all that. He still got a lot to learn
Yeah,
though.
there's a lot to prove. I agree with that. I'm just
Yeah.
on the fact that I think he'll get more talent at Notre Dame than we've seen.
Eventually, maybe if he stays that long, but I
You
mean,
think he's gonna be gone? I think he'll be there for at least.
I don't want to call. I don't never want to call a race car in Notre Dame because that's what everybody call.
Good enough to
But
stay.
my man Willingham, I had a lot of hope for him, and he didn't last a long time. And he was a good coach too.
Freeman is. I like Freeman. I think he's.
I like Freeman too. I
like
Freeman too. But
I think he'll be okay.
He's heavy. The whole like about Freeman is heavy on him being a top star athlete from Ohio State that played in the NFL. It has nothing to do with Notre Dame. It has nothing. I mean, if you want to go into his coaching, yeah, he's always been a great defensive coordinator under Cincinnati as well as Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But that says nothing about how well you can manage a team offensively and defensively. Brian Kelly struggled with. Many coaches struggle with calling plays themselves, or should I get an offensive coordinator? Should they call the plays from up top? Should they call them on the field? Should we have a script of plays? So being a head coach is a whole nother ballpark. You can't just look at that as a seamless transfer. So
I don't think it'll be seamless, but it's not like they're in the SEC, so he'll have plenty winnable ball games to get shit together.
I wish we could play Vandy and Texas A&M and all them Auburn and all them every year. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And maybe a couple years we don't get to play Alabama and Georgia. We just play the rest. Kentucky is cool with us. We'll play that. That's cool.
Kentucky, man. Tell you,
we can hang with them guys. We can hang with them guys, no doubt. But when you stick these,
I don't think y'all beat Kentucky this year.
Not this year, maybe, but in
I
our
don't think
past,
y'all beat Tennessee.
we gonna beat the shit out of every team in the SEC except Alabama and Georgia last year. Anything less than Alabama and Georgia, we whooped their ass. My opinion only.
I don't know, man. I don't know if y'all beat Ole Miss. I don't know if y'all beat Ole Miss with Corral before he gets
Miss. Oh, Miss. Our defense against Ole Miss, we locked them up and make them look like a team they wasn't. Like, what happened to that offensive team? They got locked the fuck up. Our defense was locking shit the fuck up.
I hear you, dog. I hear you. I wish they could get into that conference.
And that's the only upside to Marcus Freeman is he's the same defensive coordinator who's the head coach now. Right. So under, especially Notre Dame under at home. It's not a part of our culture to run the scoreboard up. This guy's going to play offense, even in games where we're supposed to blow out teams by 15 points or whatever. It's still going to be like 27-7 or some stupid shit.
Yeah.
Because this guy's about defense. We don't have heavy offense, and we're not trained to blow out teams at home. Take that note.
I like it. I agree with it, and I like it. Big Boss, tell the people where they can find you at, my brother.
First of all, you can find me on Twitter, unlike you can find my man Flat Top. Just follow right here at DJ Big Boss with 2 G's on Twitter, and make sure you give me a follow. And also, always follow Who Bangin' Sports Talk. That's my channel. We got plenty of guys over there. We work seamlessly with Brothas N Bets, with my man Mike Hove, my man Tease, me, my man Marley, Coach. We got other cappers over there, Don Ricci, my brother Wham with the Wham Talk for the NBA. We bringing my boy Marlon Z back for the soccer. We coming with an NFL show with Don Ricci. So make sure you like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that alert for Who Bangin' Sports Talk, man, because our full goal is just to bring you content. I can't even say I'm gonna win you a whole lot of money, because the content that we got for you ain't just about picks. It's about other stuff that has to do with sports betting. We talking about angles. We talk about trends. We talk about a whole line of stuff. So make sure you follow me, Who Bangin' Sports Talk.
For sure. I like it. Flat Top, tell the people where they can find you at, and if they in Vegas, how to get in touch with you. We know it's not on Twitter.
We know it is not on Twitter. So if you go to IG, capping is one thing I do, but I actually met Marley through promoting. So yeah, I'm out in Vegas. You need any clubs? You need any, nightlife attractions? I got you. So if you hit me up on IG at flattop_VIP, then I got you taken care of, and soon to be Twitter. The next time I'm on this show, I will give you the Twitter handle.
And change your name from Flat Top to @FlatTopVIP. So it's always right there when people need to find you. See how it says @Marley_bets? That's my Twitter handle. That's my IG handle. That's all the shit they need to put in to be able to fucking find me if they want to fucking find me. You can't find fucking Flat Top with a flat space in the top. So get that shit in order, man. I'm trying to help you out, dog.
I got it, man. I appreciate it.
But like he said, man, if y'all are in Vegas, hit my man up and he'll get y'all in the clubs. He'll get y'all on the scene. You know what I'm saying? In the pool parties, in the nightclubs, wherever you need to do, he got you. Like Boss said, go to Who Bangin', go subscribe, go check out all the content. They've already broken down a lot of the NFL conferences, him and Big Ragu. So y'all go jump on that. Y'all also catch him here when we breaking down our college plays too. I am motherfucking Marley Bets, and this right here, this is Brothas N Bets. And even though football ain't started, but I'm gonna tell y'all what we gonna do. Like yesterday, like today, god damn it, like tomorrow in the future. Y'all already know what it is, man. Let's beat Vegas. We out this month.
Check it out. Look, we from the bottom, ain't no problems, we gon' make a way.